All right, next fighter to the scale is the man around whom this fight card was built, the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion, Alex Poatan Pereira.
204 and a half.
204 and a half, the official weight for Poatan Alex Pereira. Light heavyweight contender and former undisputed UFC champion, Yuri Prochazka.
$204 and a half.
204 and a half, the official weight for Yuri Prochazka. And with that, your UFC 303 championship main event is now official. Strawweight division, the number 14 ranked contender, Michelle Waterson Gomez.
115.
115, the official weight for Michelle Waterson Gomez.
Yes, sir. I look huge.
145 and a half.
145 and a half, the official weight for Andre Feely. And competing in the flyweight division, Ray Suruya.
125 and a half.
125 and a half, the official weight for Ray Suruya. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in the co-main event live on pay-per-view, the number 14 ranked featherweight contender competing at lightweight here Saturday night, Diego Lopez. 155, the official weight for Diego Lopez. The women's bantamweight division competing live on pay-per-view, the number 7 ranked contender, Macy Chasson.
135 and a half.
135 and a half, the official weight for Macy Chasson. All right, next up we get to one half of the featured prelim live on ESPN in the middleweight division, Joe Pyfer.
185 and a half.
185 and a half for Joe Pyfer. The number 14 ranked UFC welterweight contender, Michael Venom Page.
171.
171, the official weight for MVP, Michael Venom Page. The featured prelim in the middleweight division, Marc-Andre Barriault.
185.
185 for power bar, Marc-Andre Barriault. Competing in a featherweight prelim, Charles Air Jourdain.
146.
146, the official weight for Charles Jourdain. All right, next man up competing in a prelim in the flyweight division, Carlos Hernandez.
125.
125 for Carlos Hernandez. Each competing in the heavyweight division, please welcome Martin Buday.
264 and a half.
264 and a half, the official weight for Martin Buday. Ranked middleweight contender, Roman Dolidze.
205.
205, the official weight for Roman Dolidze. All right, next fighter to weigh in, competing on the pay-per-view main card, the number 3 ranked bantamweight contender, former world title challenger, Maida Bueno Silva. 136, the official weight for Maida Bueno Silva. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in a prelim on ESPN, the number 15 ranked strawweight contender, Jillian Robertson. 116, the official weight for Jillian Robertson. All right, next athlete to weigh in, competing in the bantamweight division, Yanis Skimori.
136.
136, the official weight for Yanis Skimori. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in a prelim in the featherweight division, Cub Swanson.
146.
146, the official weight for Killer Cub, Cub Swanson. Hall of Famer, the Pitbull, Andrei Arlovsky.
245.
245, the official weight for Andrei Arlovsky. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in the co-main event live on pay-per-view, the number 3 ranked featherweight contender fighting in the lightweight division here Saturday night, Brian T-City Ortega. 155, the official weight for Brian Ortega. All right, next fighter to weigh in this morning, competing in a prelim live on ESPN in the bantamweight division, Ricky Simone.
136.
136, the official weight for Ricky Simone. All right, next fighter to weigh in this morning, competing in the featherweight division, Jean Silva.
147 and a half.
147 and a half, the official weight for Jean Silva. That is a pound and a half over the featherweight limit. All right, now we get to the other man charged with kicking off the pay-per-view main card at UFC 303, the number 7 ranked welterweight contender, still undefeated, Ian Machado Gary.
170.
170, the official weight for Ian Machado Gary. Competing in the bantamweight division live on ESPN, Peyton Talbot.
135 and a half.
135 and a half, the official weight for Peyton Talbot. All right, next up, prelim in the bantamweight division as we welcome Vinicius Oliveira.
136.
136, the official weight for Vinicius Oliveira. All right, our final athlete to weigh in this morning, competing live on pay-per-view in the light heavyweight division, the number 10 ranked contender and former world title challenger, Anthony Lionheart Smith.
$206.
206, the official weight for Anthony Lionheart Smith.